The movie starts as two modern-looking black men in their fancy underwear are being sold off at an auction. They are chained by their necks, and it appears as if the place is a slave market. Following this, the movie goes back into a flashback where it all started. It revolves around two estranged half-brothers, Regis and Joel Grosdesier, from the West Indies, who lead completely different lives. Joel is a monoracial black man fresh out of prison after serving time for stealing an old woman's purse. Currently, he lives with his mother and his 9-year-old daughter. He is serially unemployed and blames racism for all his woes, especially his joblessness. However, he has never seriously tried to find work. On the other hand, Regis is a biracial man. He is married to a white woman and has a 9-year-old daughter with her. He lives in an affluent town and is well integrated into the upper-class society. Regis is employed at the local town hall and works as an assistant to the mayor. One day, Regis receives a call from his uncle, informing him that his father is dying, and it is the old man's final wish to meet all his children. However, Regis pays no regard to his deadbeat father, as he was not around when Regis was a child. He then proceeds to have dinner with his family, but his crazy wife threatens to get laid with other men if he does not pay his father one last visit. She jumped to that specific threat awfully quickly. Left with no choice, he reluctantly agrees. The next day, Regis takes a flight to his hometown where his father resides. At the airport, he runs into Joel, who has also come to see their father. The brothers, who have been out of contact for more than a decade, put their differences aside and hire a taxi together. They catch up in the taxi on the way to their father's home. Regis tells Joel everything about his successful life, while the latter lies to cover up his failures out of embarrassment. Upon reaching their father's home, they are introduced to their aunt and several half-sisters. Turns out that their dad ventured throughout the world and had relations with countless women. This explains why Joel and Regis have different skin colors. The old man's eyes light up when he sees his only two sons before him. Before dying, he tells Regis and Joel that they will inherit a great treasure. This excites the brothers, and they eagerly wait to hear about the treasure. However, to their dismay, all they receive as inheritance is the document of emancipation of their ancestors. This document was handed over to a few slaves by their owners for some extraordinary work or act. Apparently, Regis and Joel's ancestors were granted freedom long before slavery was legally abolished in the West Indies. However, not concerned about the symbolic value of this piece of paper, they scoff at the inheritance. They then derisively tear the paper up under the disapproving eye of their late father's sister. As expected, this enrages the old woman, so she decides to teach the brats a lesson. She casts a voodoo spell on them and sends them back to the 17th century, where slavery is still prevalent. In the next scene, when Regis and Joel wake up, they find themselves stripped down to their designer underwear in an open field. As the two wonder about what happened, a couple of terrified black people run past them. Just then, two slave hunters also arrive and capture the Grosdesier brothers. They are then taken to a slave market and sold to Monsieur Jourdain, a landowner. Jourdain entrusts Joel to the farms, where he will work under the care of Henri, a brutal and deeply racist foreman, while Regis is sent to the kitchens of the residents. Soon, the half-brothers discover that they have actually time-traveled to 1780, when slavery was still a thing. The next day, the slaves are forced to listen to a priest who reads them a fake Bible about how black people should obey the whites.